Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God, how do you take him? 1, 2,
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, who I'm not going to ask you how you're doing. Your Bills beat the Chiefs. I'm going to give you the floor.
That was definitely one of the highlights of the week for sure. Non-wrestling related.
Yeah.
It was a big win.
Right. Yep. You know, you always got to start off every wrestling show talking about football. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. No, it's a big win. I had to give you a little 2 seconds there to give props to your Chiefs and your boy Josh Allen. That was his Heisman moment, as they would say. So you know he's going to be flirting with the MVP.
That's why I'm glad people are saying no offense against Lamar, but Josh should be the front runner for MVP. Like what he's playing this year, and that fourth down scramble for the game stealing touchdown. It's like, come on.
Yep. So right now, I would say Josh Allen is the MVP, but a lot of season left. But it looking like a 2-horse race unless Jared Goff keeps doing his 5 touchdowns a game that he's doing.
Yeah.
And then he'll be right there with him. But I think it's a 2-horse race, unfortunately, because Joe Burrow's team is 4-7. But Joe Burrow's putting up ungodly numbers too. But
it's sad that his numbers are great, but they have a losing record because their defense is horrific.
And if you want us to break down a little bit more, watch us on Rev Sports Wrap It Up. Follow the link. We talked about it last night, so we have some good chats over there. But let's get into the reasons that we're here, which is talk about that old wrestling. And WWE released their merch numbers for the year, and in no particular order because they didn't. Number it, but the way it's presented, it looks like this is the order in which the merch rolled out. With Cody, Roman, CM Punk, Jey Uso, John Cena, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, LA Knight, and Randy Orton, Damian Priest. Which, if you didn't, and people are like, well, there's no order, but WWE announced that Liv was their top female seller, and it looks like the way my eyes read it, she's ahead of Rhea. So I think this is the order. This makes sense.
Yes, I think so. I'm assuming it's chronological going from left to right.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
But the top 3, I'm not surprised at all.
I the only thing that surprised me is that Jey Uso with all those how all those.
I'm impressed Jey is that high on the list.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it's the top 10, but I'm surprised it's that high over Cena.
Yeah. And
now Cena makes sense because Cena announced that this coming 2025 is his retirement tour year. So he's going to be become a regular fixture on WWE again. Probably starting with the Netflix debut. He already said he's going to be at the Rumble. He might even be in the Rumble. We don't know that for sure yet, but
oh, okay. I thought he said he was in the Rumble. Okay.
I don't know. It wasn't. He didn't make it clear. It's like I think he's implying he's in the Rumble, but it's not confirmed by WWE yet. So,
gotcha.
Liv and Rhea, not surprised that they're up there. Surprised is like I guess Liv's really gained a lot of popularity ever since she's won the title. LA Knight, no surprise.
Yeah,
he's still very over beloved. Or Priest being in the top 10 really impresses me.
That was the first one of like people are like, I don't know, I don't buy Priest. I'm like, apparently a lot of people are literally buying Priest. So,
I mean, the year he's had with the world title run and everything, he's definitely become very popular with the fans. So, good for him.
Them leaning into and how they're pushing Priest with like being a New York guy and the Puerto Rican shirt they came out with. That's probably his top seller, with this Puerto Rican, Damian Priest Puerto Rican flag. I think that's a pretty big top seller that they had there. And we'll get into it because his new, even though they kind of they literally, it felt like just yesterday, him and Gunther were going back and forth, and the program that they have now from 4 months ago is totally different, and it's more props to Damian on the tonal shift that he's doing. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But no, this kind of, like I said, Jey Uso, never would have thought in a million years he'd be, battling Punk, Roman, and Cody for those spots.
Yeah, go figure.
And being more merch seller than Cena, because I mean, as we know, Stone Cold is still one of the top 15 merch sellers, and he doesn't really do.
He's been retired for ages.
Yeah, he's been retired for ages, and Cena's been now. Cena's still everywhere, so it doesn't, but it's kind of the same thing with, shout out to Jey Uso, LA Knight, Damian Priest, obviously Rhea, Liv holding down for the female side of things, above Charlotte, above Bayley, above Becky, even though Becky stepped away, but they have been carrying it, the torch for the women's division. And who, as far as predictions for top sellers next year, I've got to look at my watch, but I think it's about time once they finally do it, and then she'll be a top merch seller as well, with Tiffy. As far as the females, who do you think this time next year will be on this list? Other than, I'm saying Tiffany Stratton is one that
I think Tiffany for sure will be on there. If he continues to get pushed and get over, I won't be surprised if Braun Breaker is also in this top 10.
Good call there.
Next year.
It depends on what they do with Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob could be there.
Or Bronson Reed, maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna do Bronson. I'm not gonna lie, I like what they're doing with just every time he shows up, he just becomes yeah. Shout out to Tama with that. But yeah, so congratulations to the newcomers of the merch era. With that, hope you have good merch deals to get a little bit of to get some good stuff there. Because basically that's all Stone Cold has to do is just wake up and say thank you for his merch stuff. With that, moving on to our next one. At first, we had Becky teasing earlier this week about her return, and what was the quote, Justin?
Well, she was at a event, Vulture Fest, the Vulture Festival, where she was interviewed and promoting her autobiography that came out earlier this year, which I still have, unfortunately, just haven't gotten around to reading yet. I have it on my shelf. So she was asked about, is she going to return to WWE? And her response was, if you think I'm going to go out with Dominic Mysterio slamming a cage door in my face, that's definitely not going to happen. So I think that's, without saying yes, that she's making it pretty clear that she's going to be back.
Yeah. It's going to be back there. And then we got hit today with this video. Now, this was posted by Charlotte.
Yep.
So I think, and we were talking about it all before we went live, I think Becky and Charlotte posting the same return teasers. Now, granted, we were just wondering when she got back from tearing basically everything in her.
Yeah, it's like we knew Becky was going to come back to WWE eventually, but her saying that makes it pretty clear that it's definitive. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of when. It's like probably by the time they're probably going to want Becky back by the time the Raw Netflix debut happens.
Yeah,
they're going to load up that show with the star power for its debut. Because I'm sure Cody, Roman, Cena, just about everybody else that's important is going to be on that show. Mm-hmm. But Charlotte's interesting because we've been wondering when Charlotte's going to come back. It's because the ACL injury. It's getting close to almost a year since she got injured. So, so I think that little video, I think, is a clear indication that her return is imminent.
Yeah,
or imminent, as they say.
Yeah. So, and which is good. Which is kind of what we were thinking. We're thinking she'd probably be back for the Rumble when she got injured. I don't think middle of the year she was posting, her rehab videos and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, because like who knows? It's like I would think I don't know if she'll be back at Survivor Series, but I think maybe Saturday night's main event.
That's a good call because that's when we're gonna. That's what it looks like. We're gonna get Owens and Rhodes is the Saturday night.
Yeah, they're already planning to load up the Saturday night's main event special because like the finals of the women's United States title tournament is going to be on Saturday night's main event. Word is that they want to do KO versus Cody for the title on the show as well, which makes sense.
Right.
Because they're not going to be doing that at Survivor Series, I don't think.
No, it doesn't. Looks like that card's pretty much good to go with that. Shout out, hey, PW. I'm guessing that stands for Wrestling 101. Yeah, we're talking everything within from Thursday to Thursday and the news that happens there. So just keep commenting along as we go through our recaps of the shows that happened and any other things. And we're going to talk about some other news topics here.
Because Charlotte being on the Raw debut wouldn't make sense because she's is on SmackDown still, technically. Well, she was not drafted. She's technically a free agent. She was not drafted during the draft. Mm-hmm. Now, Becky was still active when the draft happened, and she's on Raw. So when Becky comes back, she will come back to Raw.
Right. Well, I mean, the only reason I'm saying this because the reports are that...
But Andrade is on SmackDown, so it's like she's going to go back to SmackDown because that's where her home is.
Yeah. For at least the beginning of 2025, that Roman's going to be more on Raw than he is on SmackDown. That's why I'm throwing that Charlotte thing out there. So, and also
besides, they're going to want Charlotte to feud with both Nia and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I mean, we want that Tiffy Charlotte match so bad. So, I mean, we're going to get it, but with that,
because when she comes back, she's going to try to take the title off Nia, and I think that's when Tiffany was probably going to finally do the cash in.
Yeah, I'm with it. And then kind of going with the Netflix thing, I have to bring up the Jake Paul Tyson fight just because it's on Netflix. Now, granted, we talked about this on Rev Sports Wrap It Up last night, but we kind of joked about it with all the buffering issues that they were having during the stream. Now, granted, it was 100 million and not the 1.2, 1.5 to 2 million. They're probably going to get that first night. They're probably going to 2.5, 3 is my guess of what they're doing. I think their technology can handle it, but I was just a little nervous about that.
I know everyone was like commenting about it because like I tried to watch the broadcast and I had occasional buffering issues, but most of the time I was able to see the pictures. Sometimes the quality dipped, I think due to the streaming issues, but I only had to back out and reload the stream maybe 3 times.
Gotcha.
Compared to like other people who had all kinds of massive problems. And it's like I experienced more issues around the time of the Tyson Paul fight at the end versus the earlier matches on the card, which I caught some of that stuff. Some of the other matches were much better than the main event because it's like as soon as after the third round I was like, oh, this is over because it's like I was like it played out like I thought Tyson would try to take him out early, but he couldn't do it, and so therefore he was gassed. So
no, I did like they posted the video of this is Triple H at the Netflix once it starts buffering. Like him storming when he broke into Randy Orton's house. Like someone posted that. I was like,
yeah, it's like they're not going to get the kind of traffic that they got for this fight or what they're going to get for the NFL on Christmas.
No, they're not going to get those things.
I think Raw's going to be fine.
And the fallout from this is there was obviously when you see fallout. Oh, well, thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing. We go live here every Thursday.
Appreciate the support.
Thank you for your support. North Carolina, shout out North Carolina, South Carolina area. So and then we could, like I said, we're live here every 9:00 Eastern every Thursday. Break down the shows in the weeks that was. So drop comment on the videos, all that, and then we also are working on doing. We did watch along for Bad Blood. And we're going to, just because of holidays, it's going to be hard for us to do a watch along for War Games, but we are basically our next one that we're looking to do a watch along with, unless something is a good card and we just have to figure out how to make it work. Rumble is pretty much our next goal as far as doing a watch along.
Or depending on your schedule, maybe we could do live watch along a Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if the card shapes up.
Yeah, like if the Saturday night's main event is like really loaded, I think we could try to do a live watch along of that.
Yeah, so I'm with you there. And then kind of fall out of that I was alluding to is Jake Paul basically said that he was wanting to be his brother's manager. And then they were talking about, hey, this would be a cool WrestleMania thing of having like the Paul brothers versus like Tyson and Stone Cold or some bullshit. Yeah. I think the former is more likely to happen. But Jake is having, Jake doesn't make gajillion dollars having exhibition matches without being business savvy, or at least knowing how to promote stuff.
Man supposedly got $40 million for that fight. That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. So I mean, he is a needle mover. Or at least he gets the right people because everyone wants. He's so good at playing a heel naturally that people just.
Yeah, I love the moment where like where they asked like Logan Paul, like it's like we're having a few fight times. I kill him.
Yeah, I kill him. I kill that mother effer.
And Tyson just laughed.
Yeah, no. And I think we might get at the end of the day. I think when they finally hang it up, is the Paul brothers just having a boxing match between the two of them. But right now, my bold prediction for 2025 is that Logan goes full time, like full time.
That's very possible.
With that,
he just had his kid, so he's being a dad. So
being dad had that.
Eventually get back in the WWE ring probably in the next year.
I mean, he wants to go for that title, and he's good enough in the ring, and he's
I'd be surprised if he does something at Mania. I would assume at least.
Yeah. CM Punk versus Logan Paul.
No. No. Give me.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt me even saying that that's actually a possibility?
I don't know if that works for me, brother.
Yeah, there it is. But yeah, that, and then another thing I wanted to bring up with the possible returns. Every time CM Punk gets interviewed, AJ Lee comes up. Obviously, me being a huge AJ Lee fan, which is why I'm a big Roxanne fan, because she reminds me of AJ Lee. Every comment, like he went from saying you got to ask her nothing to like he keeps every time they ask him that question, he gets more and more of it's looking like it's going to happen. And when or if do we think we get AJ Lee?
It sounds like, because he's not saying it's like it's never going to happen.
Right.
He's been implying that if she has the free time, it will probably happen. She's just like, she's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of stuff.
She's very, Abby, but like he said that he keeps her up to date on what's going on, and especially about the NXT women. I remember him specifically saying that.
Yeah.
So she knows about like, what's going on with Roxanne and Cora and all the ladies down in NXT, because, Punk has been heavily involved in NXT stuff, supporting NXT talent and everything. Being the dad mentor to Roxanne and Cora and any other wrestlers who, specifically to them, but more like they're because of how they, how much they love Punk and also AJ Lee. It's like, he's the dad mentor to those two.
Yeah, that's those are wrestling kids.
Yep.
He always says that. I've been wanting AJ Lee since she left back, because she was the bright light in that
I missed her
era.
Like, I wasn't watching wrestling when she was around, so I never got to see her. So it's like I'm very interested to see, because I've heard a lot of people speak very highly of her, her work when she was an active wrestler. Especially during that time because that was just before. That was right around. Was she still there when like Paige and the Horsewoman got?
I think she left like right before the Women's Revolution.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was like she was doing, like a lot of people said, she was doing a lot of good work right before the Women's Revolution took off with Paige and Becky and company coming up from NXT and flipping the whole script when it comes to women wrestling in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, she basically was like, because I mean, at that point, her and Punk were married.
Yeah,
Punk gets fired on their wedding day, so she already was just like, "F this." Plus, the women's division was just us. You know, it was that Divas era with like the Bella Twins and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was still the Divas title at the time,
right? And it's still the Divas title, and she came out and did that her version of the pipe bomb, and where the Bellas were being weird about stuff. I remember that promo that she cut, and then next thing you know, it was kind of like CM Punk. She was gone, and it's been he came back after 7 years. It's going on 8-9 years that she's been. She was in the ring because she was a guest star on Heels with CM Punk, so she has been back in a ring training and stuff like that. But that was a while ago, a couple of years ago. So we'll see. But it's just you're flirting with my emotions. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You're flirting with my emotions. Speaking about
your emotions, imagine what happened with Roxanne and Cora if AJ returned. Those two would probably have a heart attack.
Yeah. And speaking about flirting with your emotions, AJ Lee versus Roxanne. Oh,
that's Roxanne's dream. She said that one of her dreams is to wrestle AJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But last thing to get to before we get into SmackDown, your girl, Timeless Toni Storm, just doing the workiest of all works comments. I know you probably saw that about saying that she's leaving.
It's horrible news. It's absolutely horrible. She's saying that she's done with wrestling. She's going to retire. She's never going to wrestle again. We're never going to see her again. And in other news, water is wet and the sky's blue.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, reverse that. No, wait, I can't say hell froze over because CM Punk came back to WWE. If you believe that what she's saying is true, then you're really gullible.
Yeah,
because there's no way she's retired.
No,
it's a kayfabe thing. I think it's part of the angle where she's going to make a triumphant return and to shock Mariah May in AEW. So I don't believe for a second that she's really retiring. Nobody does.
No, nobody does. But I just had to bring that up just because it's just like, in other news, you're full of shit. Like,
right.
Which is fine. It keeps your name out there. So.
So either she's lying and she'll be back as Timeless, or she'll come back, but not as Timeless Toni. She'll come back as another. Maybe go back to her previous Toni Storm persona. Who knows? But she'll be back. She's like not going anywhere.
No. You ready to go over SmackDown, sir?
Yeah, let's go over the SmackDown.
I just like the way the Street Profits are being presented right now. Just throwing that out there. I like the way they're. This is how you go heel for Street Profits. This is how you do it.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on last week's episode of SmackDown. We opened the show with Cody Rhodes coming out to call out Kevin Owens after what he did to Randy Orton last week with the pile driver. Nick Aldis came out instead, saying that KO was not in the building. He told him that he could not come in. Cody wants him. Aldis tried to talk him out of it, but he made it clear that he wants to take KO on, and the ball's in Nick Aldis' court, and he won't wait long. The Usos and Sami Zayn were waiting for Roman to show up, still trying to figure out who they can recruit as their fifth member for War Games. Sami thinks he knows one other person to try to ask and left to go do that. Then we had a first-round match in the Women's United States title tournament, crowned the first champion. Bayley versus B-Fab versus Candice LeRae in a triple threat. Fun stuff. B-Fab got to shine and looked pretty good in this match. In the end, Bayley was able to roll her up for the victory to move on to the next round. Next week's first round match will be Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green versus Blair Davenport. Sami Zayn was seen talking to LA Knight, who was on his way to the ring. Street Profits cheered B-Fab up despite not winning the match, and she told him to go out and win the tag titles tonight. Chelsea Green Piper didn't even talk trash to B-Fab, but Michin came up to provide some backup, wielding a candlestick. LA Knight came out for his open challenge for the United States Championship. He said that he had to turn down Sammy's ask for War Games, saying that it's not his fight. Legado del Fantasma came out. LA Knight said he's already fought Santos and beat him, but he saw the way Humberto was looking at him and decided to give him the title shot, which he did, and he defeated Humberto with BFT. After the match, Shinsuke Nakamura finally returned after being away for months. He laid out LA Knight in the middle of the ring and left. Roman Reigns was meeting with the Usos Sammy. They said they haven't been able to find anyone who's willing to team up with them. Jay told Roman he should make the phone call before anything else could happen. The Bloodlines music played as they saw a video of them coming up the ring. The Bloodline came out, and OG Bloodline came out and responded. They got into a big brawl. And just like it looked like they had the upper hand, Bronson Reed appeared out of nowhere and helped lay out Roman Reigns. He and Jacob fought to Wreck Shop, and it was topped with a tsunami for Roman off top rope. As they left, the Solo One Couple left with Bronson Reed, you could hear Jay saying, "Tell Roman to make the call again." Tag team title match, Street Profits taking on the champs, Motor City Machine Guns. Good stuff going here until all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Tommaso Ciampa ran out and attacked Montez Ford, causing a disqualification. Johnny tried to calm Ciampa down, and he shoved him my way, saying that he wants the tag titles back. The Motor City Machine Guns tried to play nice Street Profits, but Street Profits were not pleased and shoved them out of their way, pissed off. Bayley gave Naomi a pep talk ahead of her title match against Nia Jax. Bianca Belair and Jay all came in and said, told Naomi to go win the title. So we had our main event, WWE Women's Championship match, Nia Jax teaming against Naomi. This was a hell of a main event match between these two ladies. All the usual suspects got involved as the build to War Games obviously continued. Liv and Raquel were shown attacking Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and laid them out in the back to prevent them from helping Naomi. Bayley tried to come out to give some backup, but she was taken out thanks to work from both Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae. And finally, after a Super Simone drop, Nia hit the Annihilator to pin Naomi and retain the title. Tiffany and Candice joined Nia in the ring, and they stood tall, mocking over Naomi. And the show ended showing Roman in the back, pulling out his phone and trying to call the wise man Paul Heyman, only to discover that the number that he used to be able to reach Heyman on had been disconnected. Uh-oh. And that's how SmackDown ended. Let's see what happens next.
Oh, Candice LeRae. You get back in the cage. With that. No, this was a fun show.
This actually was a good SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun show. I want to start. Honestly, I just want to start with the Machine Guns and the Profits, and them. Yes, you know what, Giff. Once they actually do push Montez forward, what's your next? Where are you going to pivot to? Because I like it. Yes, Fatu and
he's putting it out into the universe.
Yeah, he's going to keep saying it until it happens. And then yes, Jacob and Bronson Reed as a tag team. That'd be pretty.
Those two working together was really scary looking.
Yeah. But I do want to start with the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Profits.
Mm-hmm.
This was the aggressiveness that we were saying. Like, they're too charismatic. How are you going to make the Street Profits, work? And then I was like, I don't know, the way that they're kind of like they were with SmackDown before when they got their match, and then Ciampa, which is leading to, I'm hoping, a triple threat ladder match for the titles or something of that nature between these three teams.
Mm-hmm.
But what say you about where this is going?
This could go different ways. I mean, they're definitely teasing some heel turns here, not just Ciampa, but maybe even the Street Profits. Now the question is, what's going to happen? Hopefully, this doesn't lead to a breakup DIY. I would rather Johnny like join Ciampa on the dark side and not have DIY breakup just yet. Street Profits may go that way too. I mean, it's like there's other tag teams on the show, so it'd be weird to see them both DIY and Street Profits go heel almost at the same time. It would be a little weird, but that's how they do it. Or maybe they just give maybe make the Profits maybe a little like in Tweenerville, maybe give them a little bit of edge.
Yeah, give them a little bit of edge. I mean, because you got to think the other tag team. Yeah, because I mean, these are the top 3 tag teams. I mean, this is how you booked them. Like Pretty Deadly, you squashed them, squashed them last week, so they're not. And then
Legato is Legato's because of Angel Garza is busted his wrist.
Yeah, with that. So yeah, these are basically the only 3 not named the Bloodline, and again that's another heel tag team. So it's like. So yeah, I would say it's a tweener there, but that's just the Motor City. Every match that they do is just like
it feels like the fans are also getting they're getting more over with the fans. With every match. So
yeah, the fans. That's the one thing about sometimes with some of the WWE crowds, at least in the past. I think because the wrestling was so just meh in the past, so no one really got behind it. Whereas now, like the fans now recognize if you're doing, you're putting on clinics and stuff like that, and it seems like, Motor City is just because people really don't know who they are unless you're like us, who's been kept up with their career for 15 years. So and plus, they're not the best promos ever. So you've got that going.
Yeah,
and then a lot of the people in the back, as far as producers and talent, want BFAB to start getting some more TV time as well.
She really impressed me in the triple threat match. I was watching. I was like, oh wow, she's keeping up with Candice and Bailey here pretty well. So props to her because back in her NXT days, she didn't really impress me very much.
Yeah. And the thing is now that we're in the Triple H era, not the other era, where 1 second she's like, oh, he's high on this wrestler, and then 2 weeks later, nothing. Like
it feels like they're definitely trying to see if they can give her something, especially because like her with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven kind of trash talking her and Meechin kind of backing her up so she doesn't get roughed up or anything. That could lead to something.
Yeah, Meechin just looks like a champion, like with that like she came in all badass with that kendo stick.
I really hope she finds a way to win that qualifying match against Jade, and it's like putting her as soon as I saw that she. So yeah, let's go over the brackets of the women's United States title real quick. So we had the first match here, first round match. The first round match is all triple threat, and then it goes to singles for the semifinals and then the final. So we had Candice, Bailey, and BFAB in the first match. Next week is Chelsea Green, Blair Davenport, and Bianca. The other 2 first-round matches are Jade Cargill, Piper Niven, Meechin, and then Elektra Lopez, Naomi, and who else is it?
I'm trying to find the bracket.
I posted it on Discord.
Okay. Oh, here it is. I got it. There you go. This is just the bracket. I don't have it updated yet, but I got the bracket there.
Okay, it's Tiffany. Tiffany's not
Elektra. That's right, Elektra Lopez. Yeah.
Naomi's probably going to win that because Elektra's not going to win. Tiffany has the briefcase. She doesn't need to win the Women's United States Championship. So Naomi, that's a lock. The other 2, there's a couple ways they could go. Bianca could definitely win that and have a clash with Bailey in the next round, but I'd prefer Chelsea Green or Blair Davenport to get that spot. as a heel, that's tough. That they sandwiched Meechin against Jade Cargill, Piper Niven. It's like,
yeah.
I'm kind of hoping for the upset for that.
I think somehow another Meechin, because the way they made a triple threat, so that way you don't bury your topper talent like a Jade Cargill. So Piper's there to take the pin from Meechin. Because right now, Meechin just came off of a solid feud
with Chelsea Green
program with Chelsea, and she came out on top. So therefore, you got to build on that momentum.
Yeah, and plus, Jade and Piper Niven. Piper could. That's a tough spot. I mean, it's like Piper. Like, I just don't. It's like you don't need to have Jade or Bianca advance very far this tournament. They're just in there for bodies. No. They already got the tag team titles. So those two, like Naomi's definitely winning that qualifying match. The other two that could go one or more different ways. The other two first round matches.
Yeah. The one thing that makes me nervous because we're both like we want Chelsea and Meechin to be one of the two to win it, right? Be the first inaugural one. The thing is, this is the first War Games that Bayley has never been in.
I wouldn't mind if Naomi gets it either. I mean, give her some recognition as well. You know, it's like she could definitely. It'd be nice to see some gold around her waist. So yes, we're very interested to see how this tournament shakes out. We'll see. It'd be, you know what, because that match is next week, just before War Games. I won't be surprised if Bianca does. I don't see Bianca win that match because of War Games.
Right.
I could definitely see some of the heels on the women's on Liv's team making sure Bianca doesn't win that match next week.
Yeah, for sure. So again, to me, it's Bayley. I'm kind of with you. It's Bayley, obviously, because Bayley moved on. Naomi, Chelsea, and Meechin are the four that I would, and mainly we've talked about it last show. It's like Chelsea and this title seemed like it was made for Chelsea and Meechin, just to where they're at, and they've been holding down the mid card of the women's division, at least on this show, for a while now. And then let me bring up, I just saw this video as well. Let me go back here real quick. This was on the 18th that was posted.
Special announcement this morning. We have on board Miss Chelsea Green. She's our future WWE Women United States Champion. Also 4 million followers on Instagram. Thank you for choosing Delta Mills Green. It's a pleasure to have you on board this morning.
Hilarious.
And people were clapping for her.
Special announcement.
So yeah, Chelsea's awesome. So yeah, I don't know. I want it to be either one of those two. It's a long story short on that. I thought the Santos LA Knight stuff was fun. Obviously, it was a pretty solid match between Knight and Berto.
Oh wait, I forgot though. Not to Joey. We'll see. Because we got a match to determine which of the women's teams gets the advantage in War Games this coming Monday.
That's right. That might be where all the shenanigans happen.
That's Bianca versus Nia.
Yeah, might be where all the shenanigans happen. So we'll see how the other stuff plays out with that. But yeah, kind of crazy that Bayley, since they brought War Games to the main roster, Bayley's been in every single one of them,
except this one.
But you know what? They really don't need her in a sense.
But Io's got the streak. Io has been in every women's War Games match since they started doing them. She did all the ones that were on NXT, and she's been in all. She's going to be in all three that have been on the main roster since they moved it to Survivor Series. Yeah,
and even to me, well, we'll get into it on Raw, but the way that this is the most over Io has been, even after she had title.
I think she's more over now than when she had the championship last year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, she's definitely the most over I've seen her in her career.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, the LA Knight Berto stuff.
that was good. That was good. I like what happened there. And then Shinsuke Nakamura finally returns out of nowhere.
The Sith Lord.
Yeah,
Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, like the red. I was like, all right, Sith Lord.
yeah,
Shinsuke.
it's like it's like I saw people joking like Sith Lord Nakamura.
Yeah, Sith Lord Nakamura. Darth Knock. That's what they're calling him, Darth Knock. I don't know. I just came up with that.
Well, that's going to be a hell of a feud for LA Knight for the U.S. title.
Yes, that's as soon as he showed that, I was like, yes, finally.
It's not
kind of like a 50-50 booking between the mid-carders.
I would put that on Saturday night's main event, Nakamura versus LA Knight for the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah.
Or they might do it on SmackDown. That's either going to be a SmackDown match before the Rumble or going to be on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. But yes, I'm definitely I was like, yes, that's a perfect time to bring Nakamura back. Is that mid-card feud?
We've been wondering. It's like he hasn't been seen since Mania.
Where does Andrade and Carmelo go from here?
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. They're obviously they worked their ass off.
Yeah.
And to get that, and you knew they weren't going to go over, and I still can't get. I'll go back and watch that finish of that triple threat.
That's what I'm wondering. It's like, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. The Nia Naomi, that was pretty good.
That main event match was great.
Yeah. And
crowd was into that match big time.
Uh-huh.
It's like
they were
they were buying them near falls, man.
Yeah.
Like they thought for a second Naomi might win the title. So it's like
mm-hmm. Yeah, they could do like they did with Sheamus and Cesaro and just make them a tag team. I mean, they could. They need tag teams right now.
But they don't like each other.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like Sheamus and Cesaro were like always like buddies anyway. And they were kind of always hinting of like the best of 7, but they were always it kind of came across as that like respectful best of 7 type thing.
It might work. I mean, look at it's like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller have done well as 8-10 Down Under, their former tag champs. So
yeah, and especially if DIY and the Street Profits go full heel, then those two can be the other baby faces in a sense. There. So again, it's just that's still kind of a reach to me.
Yeah, it is. It's been a reach.
All right, Bloodline stuff. I didn't mind it. The Bronson Reed looked like he belonged.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone was like, "He looked like he fit." Everyone was like, "He fits like a glove."
He fits like a glove. Now he's from Australia. He is
apparently he has some Samoan descent. He's from Samoan descent, but though he grew up in Australia. There's some confusion about that. But he's not related to like like Dolphin, the family,
right?
But it's like if he's Samoan. It's like okay, that works. But God, he looked amazing. Like him and Jacob were like, I'm like, God, that's a scary combination. Those two.
Yeah.
It's like, look out. That's
that is Bebop and Rocksteady. That's what those two are. That's the first thing.
And then just watching him lay out Roman with a tsunami.
Yeah, and like from to the moonsault to the
and
tsunami.
It took me a bit. Like I was wondering who did Jamie like when he's like, Roman, you got me to call. Like I'm like, who? South's not going to take his fucking phone call. And then at the end, I was like, oh, of course, that's what he meant. Call Heyman. And
that's why I put the title of our show the way I title the show, because it kind of makes sense. And we'll get into it on Raw.
Yeah, we'll get more of that after what happened on Raw. But it makes sense that because he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
He let all this stuff happen. Heyman got hurt. It's like we have no indication that he checked on to make sure Heyman was okay.
Right.
So Heyman's probably not too happy with him. It's like, but he'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that. It adds a little bit more drama to the whole situation.
Yeah, it's the carrot. That was your carrot.
It's Roman's realizing that it's like he's got some work to do. He's got bridges to fix here. It's like it's like it's like he did wrong to a bunch of people here. It's like including Heyman. He left him high and dry when Solo was doing his hostile takeover. He was it's like he didn't even show up right after Heyman got taken out. It's like he didn't show up he didn't come back until SummerSlam.
Nope. So, and it just, and the fact is like in the last time someone kind of pointed out, I was like, why is this number disconnected? He's like, well, technically Solo did break his phone before he, so, he didn't have his phone, but I'm like, he can buy another phone.
You can buy another phone.
Like, my number's still good, dude. That's kind of a reach there.
Yeah, no, just because the cell phone is destroyed doesn't mean the number's disconnected.
Right. So, but I think it's, we'll get to it with Raw, but yeah, this show was fun. Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes stuff. Just give it to us at this point. Like,
yeah, and that makes sense too. So it'll be great to see what happens when KO and Cody have a face-off on next week on this week's SmackDown.
Yep. See you tomorrow night there. Anything else that you want to touch on for SmackDown?
I think we covered all the most important stuff from SmackDown.
Okay.
I do like that. I like that Candice LeRae's getting a focus. I'm kind of digging her with being buddy with Nia because it makes Tiffany jealous, and it's building toward Tiffany finally having enough and turning on Nia and cashing in, baby.
Yeah, it just makes me feel because it looks like especially when they walked out, and we'll get to it. When they walked out on all three of them walked out on Raw, it just seemed like, oh, that Candice fit there. Kind of like we talked about Bronson Reed in the new Bloodline. Like Candice kind of fit there. But the thing is, I'm just like, did they really just let Indy Hartwell go for the fact of this story? Like, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Like, you can easily have written off Indy and whatever, but that would have been that was just like the one thing that just because I'm still in that VKM mindset of how dirty he was, so I don't think they were that dirty about it. But it's like, oh, Indy doesn't do this. We need Candice. But yeah, Candice when she, because it felt like she was like the odd woman out. Like, why is she? And now this SmackDown, and then when she came out on Raw, it's like, oh no, that kind of fits with Tiffy, and then the whole thing with Nia. So yeah, I'm digging it. All right, let's go to Raw. We already hinted at it like 7 times in this last 5 minutes, so let's do that.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. This was taped last week in Grand Rapids. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez came out to kick things off, bragging about how they took out Bianca and Jade on SmackDown. Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton came out to join them. Jax made it clear she's not a big fan of Liv and Raquel, but she agrees that they have one thing common, that they can't stand Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. Cued the 3 of those ladies coming out, along with Io Sky, saying that, they were looking for a fight and didn't come alone. And then Rhea Ripley's music hit to a big pop. She came out wearing a protective mask on her face. She said, War Games, decked Liv, and the big brawl was on. And so looks like we have our 5-on-5 women's War Games match for this year. They recapped Bronson Reed helping Solo and the new Bloodline laying out Roman and company on SmackDown as the build to War Games continues. Then we got a tag match. LWO American Made. It was a mixed tag of Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega against Ivy Nile and Chad Gable. LWO picked up the victory. After the match, Gable was pissed, but fired up the rest of the American Made troops. Judge Day talked shop in the back. Finn telling Carlito and Dominic to take care of the Road Raiders tonight to send a message. JD said he needed to talk to Finn, and they went off to talk. Recorded video with Miz and Karrion Kross aired. Miz bragged about fooling the White Six last week, leading to the Final Testament beatdown. Thinks that his performance would allow him to relaunch the Marine franchise. And Karrion Kross said this was only just the beginning. Gunther was talking to Louis Kaiser in the back, told him to go ahead and make a name for himself. he's going to take care of business with Damian Priest. Tried to jump Priest from behind. They fought. He tried to go for a pipe, but Priest laid him out. Said he may be the ring general, but Damian is the king of the streets. Then we had an Intercontinental title match. Braun Breaker defending against Sheamus. Good stuff as you expect from these two. But the match ended disqualification. Ludwig Kaiser came out and attacked Braun Breaker and left both him and Sheamus laid out. And he shouted at Sheamus that he was going to make sure that he was going to end his career. Once again, Sami, Jay, and Jimmy Uso tried to convince Seth Rollins to join them against Bronson Reed in the Bloodline and War Games. He said under any other circumstances, he would be happy to team with the three of them. But because of Roman Reigns, he has to say no. But he will do him a favor and take out Bronson Reed to make sure that he doesn't go to War Games for them. Video package of Dakota Kai coming back from injury, inviting that she's going to get Championship Gold back again around her waist. The Women's War Games match was made official. Then we had Carlito and Dominic taking on the War Raiders. War Raiders picked up the victory with their finisher, but Finn Balor and JD McDonough jumped the Raiders after the match and laid them out. White Six aired a promo in response to Miz and Karrion Kross's, promising revenge on Miz for not accepting their offer of helping him out of the pit. Hype video for Lyra Valkyria aired. Then we saw Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods once again having disagreements in the back. Otis and the rest of the Alpha Academy got involved, and that led to Woods setting up a tag match against them for next week. Then we got to the main event. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Good stuff, as you expect. Soul in the Bloodline showed up, but Sami and the Usos fought them off. Eventually, Solo returned and caused enough of a distraction for Seth to lose focus, and that allowed Bronson to take advantage, hit a Death Valley driver in the Tsunami, and pinned Seth in the middle of the ring. And Solo came in to celebrate with Bronson Reed as they stood tall over Seth to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
I will give you the floor to start off what you want to talk. So, what do you want to talk about?
Let me talk about the Women's War Games match because, well, I guess apparently Rhea's injury is not as bad as they thought because they've obviously cleared her with a protective mask on to be able to do this War Games match. The match is probably going to be really good. The build has been bullshit.
It's been terrible.
I'm not going to lie.
It looks fun though.
I'm sure it'll be a fun match, but it was sloppily and hastily put together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of lucky that Rhea is not as hurt as they thought, because it probably would not have been as good without her.
Nope.
It would have made less sense because Team Rhea versus Team Liv makes sense. It's just how we got here wasn't the best. So
no, how we got to this point doesn't. It's one thing. It's like, oh, Bloodline versus OG Bloodline. We've been building for this for 7 months. By the way, you women just fight these women. War Games. All right, thanks. That's kind of how it's two different builds. But they are, they have to have 2 War Games matches, and they kind of unfortunately booked themselves. I mean, even Nia's promo, she was like, Roxanne, not Roxanne, Raquel. I do this, you're nothing. Liv, same thing. Really, Nia? You could have said something different for both of them.
Right.
And then Candace is just sitting there like, oh, I'm involved. Yay. And Tiffany's being Tiffany, whatever. And then, but yes, that pop that Io got, that's what we were alluding to earlier. Yeah. That pop that Io got, I'm like, oh, okay, that was cool. We got to that part, even though her and Bianca seems like they've been feuding for like 3 years. But whatever on that. But yes, I'm looking forward to watching it and see how it plays out because they're always fun, and I think they got the right talent in there. and new talent to highlight,
It
especially
just feels
Candace.
like that. Like, well, it's like that. Oh, wait a minute, we need to have a women's war games match. Let's
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, which again, just
because
women's.
we've said months ago. Pretty much all of us, in this sphere, months ago, said, well, they're obviously going to build toward Bloodline versus Bloodline at War Games, Bloodline Civil War, and that's exactly what we got, and that's appropriate for what's been going on. It's like, you just wish you could have done a better job of building toward this women's War Games match.
Yeah,
That's all. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's like, it's the build. Ugh.
Yeah.
Match will probably be kick ass.
Yeah. Okay, Dakota Kai getting her own little vignette.
That was nice to see.
That was
And
nice.
also Lyra Valkyria.
Yep.
It's like, hopefully they'll be doing something with the two of them soon.
That being said, you remember that vignette we got from Dragon Lee? Then he's back tagging with Rey Mysterio, and then we haven't seen him. Like, it's just kind of like, eh. So I don't.
Dragon Lee just won the Speed Championship. So
That's true. That's true. I'm toned out from the Speed Championship because
Yeah,
I only posted online. I can't even find the video.
It's there too. To be fair.
Isn't Candice LeRae still the Speed Champion?
Yeah, she's still the Speed Women's Champion.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. So let me give my two mid card feuds that I'm still liking: the New Day and then the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament. I don't know. So, Karrion Kross is doing his best work he's done.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Miz, Miz Karrion Kross back and forth popped me.
That was great
a couple of times.
I love how deluded Miz is like, this maybe this will help me get Marine 7 off the ground.
Yeah, Marine 7. My acting was so good.
I should have got an Oscar.
I should not have got an Oscar. Yeah. And he's like Scorsese, Fincher. I don't know who we're gonna get. And then Karrion doing the stuff there, and then that. Hey guys, if you didn't know, Bo Dallas, him and Bray were actually brothers in real life. And if you didn't know, now you do, because when he appeared,
so much like it was.
I was like, it gave me goosebumps. I'm like, oh, it's different. This is that. And then he cut a Bray. Now, granted, people are like, oh, you just cut a Bray Wyatt promo. I was like, yeah, but you still got the same feeling you were watching a Bray Wyatt promo. That's what's awesome about it. So I like the way they shot it, the way his hair was. It's just like he's getting more and more into. He's becoming more like from the start where him and Uncle. He had like I'm Bo Dallas, but yet Uncle Howdy, and he's getting more and more to Uncle Howdy and further away from Bo Dallas as we've gone along in this Wyatt Six stuff.
Yeah.
So I like that there. When do you think we'll see this blow off? Saturday night?
Maybe, or I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind something at Survivor Series. It's there's still only just the 2 War Games matches and Gunther versus Priest. I think they'd want to maybe throw at least maybe one more match onto the card or two. Yeah. We'll see. Okay.
So good segue into we'll get into the New Day in a second because you actually segued me into let's just talk about the Gunther Priest stuff this week. I thought the Priest stuff was really good. Mm-hmm. The issue I had with it is they were 2 feet away from each other. How did you not
walk very far to try to attack Priest from behind?
Yeah, just like
you think you would have heard it, you know?
Right. We are as people that have watched wrestling, and we let a lot of things go. Of like, why does your music need to play if you're trying to help somebody out? Like, what? Right. You're like, there's no reason to wait for the music to hit or something. But it gets your good juices going. It's just part of wrestling. Or them climbing a ladder 10 years to get to the top. We know that's not. No one ever climbs a ladder like that. We get over that. But the fact that Priest is literally right there and heard nothing and didn't even see Gunther standing there talking. So I just like doing over that. But I just like how it's what Priest is doing right now. We alluded to it a little bit earlier. I like this Priest. He seems like he's more relaxed. It's not forced for what he's saying. It comes off natural and it's working. And then the whole Gunther not, just doubting himself and more, is making people buy into, oh, maybe Damian Priest can beat him. I don't think he will, but at least you're putting that doubt to the audience that Damian Priest can take the title back. Even though people are saying CM Punk is going to be the one to, at least that's the next challenger to Gunther, is that, and then which leads us to Seth Rollins, and that's where we get WrestleMania with that.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on that segment?
No. And so we got like I said earlier, we got the War Games advantage match on Raw, Bianca versus Nia. Whoever wins, their team gets the advantage of War Games. Usually goes to the heels, so I'm expecting Nia to win the match most likely.
Yep. Expecting that. What do you? And then the New Day stuff. I just it seems like they're saying the same thing, but it just seems like it's adding.
This better be building toward when they do the whole anniversary.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Big E returns, because that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yep.
Because this feels like it's building toward Big E finally coming back, and he's either going to help them get back together, or Woods is going to turn on him.
Yeah.
And complete the heel turn.
Right.
It could go either way.
I want Woods to go full heel.
I wouldn't mind going full heel.
And rip into, you both have been champions. I haven't. You both been, I've been there the whole time supporting you. What have you done for me? He wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then, is it my fault that you got, he can even get into Big E's? Is it my fault that you got your neck injured? No. But was I there through your whole thing? Yeah. Where have you been? Even though his neck is injured. But you can see where he can come up with just I've had it. It's bull crap. Because he's always been the third wheel between the three of them. So that's the next layer I want to see. Now, granted, it's the New Day, so I'm never tired of them. But I like what they're doing with the Alpha Academy. And speaking of Alpha stuff, hey, we had a mixed tag with Ray and Zelina, and the match was fine. But Gable just slapping the Creeds, and then they're like, okay. I don't know. Not real fan of that. With that, what say you about that?
Yeah, I am with you on that.
Yeah. Okay. And all right. I'll let you take it away about that Sheamus Braun Breaker and then the Ludwig Kaiser.
The match was cooking. Kind of was a little bothered that Kaiser interfered, but
yeah.
He wants to try to take Sheamus out, and I'm okay with it because it's a tease, because I feel like they should run Sheamus versus Braun back at least by WrestleMania, and let Sheamus finally win the Intercontinental.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's going, is Sheamus getting the title. But we thought that's where we're going with Chad Gable, and now Chad's in
it's like some say hopefully.
So hopefully. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure they're much higher on Sheamus than they are on Chad Gable, but I think both of them are just as good.
Yeah, just Chad and American Made continue to do jobs. I don't understand it. It's bothering me.
Yes, it's bothering me a lot too.
Not liking it at all.
No, because the Creeds are should have been tag team champions.
Yeah, it's like the Creed brothers are amazing. It's like what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, because that was one thing when I finally started watching NXT. And I was like, oh, gosh, these Creed brothers are no joke. And you're like, yeah, I know, but telling you. And then they get to WWE, and they started off really hot, and now they're in Jobberville. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And speaking about not being in Jobberville, though, is the War Raiders. They're definitely pushing them. But I loved that backstage segment with Finn of still messing with Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that, of just go for the neck. Although it's going to piss him off.
Right.
I just like how he was toying with them. And the fact that after they lost, then they came out and attacked. And yes, they stood tall, but it's that still could cause to go into Raw and being Dominic is why don't you come out and help us beforehand? Why'd you have to wait till after we lost the match? And he was like, I told you to go for the neck, and they can play into the dissension and stuff. Because right now, the only thing we know about the Judgment Day is the fact they have a logo. They don't seem to be a faction anymore, because Liv and Raquel are doing their thing. She doesn't even have Dom with her anymore when she's doing stuff.
Right.
Maybe has to do some of the War Games. And then, so Dom probably will come out and do some shenanigans at War Games. If it doesn't, then I'm really going to be what's going on with that?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think the War Raiders are going to take the titles from them?
I think they are.
I think they are too.
Get them off of Judgment Day. They've been dying a slow death. They've only defended them once in 150 days. They've held the titles. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's like, get them off. No offense to Finn and JD. Get them off of them.
Yeah, but that Finn and JD,
War Raiders better win. It's like, seriously.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. Seth calling Roman a tyrant. So what we thought was a spoiler might not be a prediction either. We might get the rumors were saying before this show aired and we saw the spoilers. We're like, oh yes, they're gonna come out. Seth's gonna blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Nope. Not at the end. It's not what we got. They swerved us a little bit.
No, and I thought after this, now I'm more along the lines of, okay, you know what? I don't think Seth is going to be the fifth man because then there's nothing that Roman could probably do or say that would convince him otherwise, and he probably doesn't want to hear it either.
Why? It's one thing for Roman to go back and get his family back, and he still hasn't apologized. By the way, number one.
No, that still needs to be something. I think that Heyman needs to help. Fix that.
And obviously, he doesn't have Heyman's number anymore, or at least it's been disconnected. So that's another thing. So he's having a good enough. He's the only thing that is keeping the bloodline together is the fact that Jay, Jimmy, and Sammy are together, and they're kind of wanting to do this as well, just because of how it was more of they're just going on the one thing. It's Jay and Jimmy and Roman, and then Sammy being there. But see, that makes so much sense. CM Punk came back at Survivor Series at War Games last year. CM Punk comes back, helps his wise man defend because what does Roman have against the bloodline?
I totally am buying into this Punk is the fifth man theory. Because it makes more sense than Seth. Because Punk doesn't have the messed up history that Seth and Roman have.
Nope.
I mean, it's like Punk was around when the Shield was there. It's like, and they clashed, but it wasn't like anything like personal. I mean, he probably doesn't, he's not like a fan of Roman, but he's like, obviously he'd be more indifferent at the most. He would do it for Heyman. He would do it for him. And people rightly pointed out that it's like you could perfectly foreshadow this with what happened like a few months ago on SmackDown when Heyman was like warned him about Soul and the Bloodline and take me with you, help me. And also that he mentioned that Roman, because of how much Punk means to him, Roman declared Punk. After Punk came back, Roman declared that he's like off limits. That like the Bloodline's not going to mess with him, because of how much Punk means to Heyman. And so this would be a really cool move, and would pop the crowd big time. And there'd be, like you said, the symmetry. He came back to WWE at the end of War Games last year, and then this year, from his mini hiatus, he comes back and is involved in War Games this time.
And it's not just a smorgasbord of, like we're having with the women's division, whereas like it does fit the narrative with the Paul Heyman situation. So it has that. But I also do kind of find it funny is like, I might not come back because Hell in a Cell almost ruined my career. I'm back, guys. Let's get in the cage with 2 rings. It's like his next match back is
right. He just did Hell in a Cell.
He just Hell in a Cell, and then he comes back for War Games. But this could also lead into okay. Someone pointed out, and I'm kind of with it. It's like Seth is like that tyrant, and I want to help you all out. You don't know how much it hurts that I can't do it. I'm like, dude, weren't you the one that started this whole freaking thing when you turned your back on Roman 7 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever? I mean, 10 years ago when you went against the Shield. Like, What are you talking about? You started this.
Yeah, really. It's like, and he kind of alluded to that when he was talking to Cody about like Roman being the way he is today is kind of partially my fault. Yeah, because you turned on him and Moxley to join the Authority to. It's like you stabbed him in the back first.
You're the architect of the tribal chief.
Right.
I think he said that at one point. He was like, "I'm the architect. I was the architect, and being the architect, I created the tribal chief. It's my fault, type of thing." In a sense, there. But yeah, this was kind of what we saw CM Punk when we saw those spoilers. So we were hoping, we're like, it just doesn't make sense for Seth to be like, fine. Like, it made sense with him and Cody because that wasn't that blood feud that spanned 10 years.
Yeah.
It's, it's just whatever.
The question is, do we see Heyman before War Games, or does he finally return?
I think they might. I would hope that they would probably do they all come out, they get in the cage, and then right before it starts.
Yeah, because I think it would be better if it works like they think that they're in a handicap situation and they're just going to go for it, and then when it's time, then Heyman comes out and introduces that that he's brought CM Punk to help.
The ladies and gentlemen would get such a big.
Yeah, it would. I think that's the right play.
Yeah. Because I mean, remember which War Games was it where they really didn't have anybody, and then Kevin Owens just showed up? It was NXT.
That was NXT War Games where Ciampa's team didn't have a fourth member,
right? Because they were going against the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, they were feuding with because Ciampa had Keith Lee and Dijak with him, but
man, NXT was cooking back then, dude.
Yeah, but KO came back and to a massive pop, which it made sense because the during the build to Survivor Series when it was NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, the Undisputed Era messed with Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, he's got a history with Adam Cole. They're really good friends in real life, and so that was the big surprise. Like he came back to NXT and helped Ciampa's team beat the Undisputed Era in War Games that year.
I know some people are starting to make fun of him, but I've been the very big like this is exactly because it separates you from anyone else of kind of the goofy Solo. I love his personality. Him breaking off into his own and being this type of Solo, because he's gotten so much better on the mic because he's letting his time. I say it about Damian Priest with the way he switched right now just seems natural, and his your personality meshed with cutting good promos creates a really good character. And ever since Solo came out to screw over Jay with the ticket stuff, it's really starting to build into a Solo that you can tell is in charge. Everyone's respects him, especially Jacob. I love you, Solo. I can't get enough of that. I'm not trying to. But also too is you can tell he's in command. He's not just another guy.
Yeah,
and he's separating himself from just being because Roman he's just so stoic. He doesn't have to say a whole lot. Whereas Solo, you have to have a little bit of personality to separate yourself from just another stoic dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm glad that Reed won. Solo caused a little bit of distraction, but it wasn't like any kind of direct interference. So Reed still beat him clean anyway, which is what should have happened at Crown Jewel. But anyway, I'm glad he won.
Yep, got the win,
and so it makes things very interesting. What's going to happen?
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to continue Bronson, or is that with the bloodline? Because, like I said, they kind of made sense.
We'll see. I don't know if it'll go past War Games, but
I doubt it. But
it's a smart move for Solo to get him to help for War Games.
Yeah. Some people are also alluding to if Punk is the fifth man, this is going to lead into the Punk Seth stuff for Mania, and I'm like, they really don't need any help. At no point of them in like, yeah, Seth, we're buddies now. Like, no, they still hate each other. Like, I guess they can add to fuel to the fire, but I just want that program. Now, before we move on to AEW, I do have to ask. It looks like we're getting CM Punk back, but where's your boy? And what are they going to do with him when he comes back?
That's what I'm wondering. I think we'll see Drew back after Survivor Series.
And what do they do?
Whether he's going to stay on Raw, that's where I said it doesn't. I don't see how he could want to be able to coexist with CM Punk after that. What happened between them? Like the feud is over, but it's like I don't know. I think it would make more sense if he got traded to SmackDown.
Yeah. I just want him to have we both want him to have that lengthy in front of crowd title reign. 100-day, at least 100-day, 150-day title reign. Because especially what him and Punk did and the year he had in this year in 2024, he definitely damn well deserves to have a decent title reign. And not 5 minutes or without a crowd. And it still seemed like it was all over the place. So let's move on to AEW. I'm going to say something that's going to surprise you. That's right. I'm teasing after Justin's recap because I can't believe I'm getting ready to say what I'm going to say. And it's going to be a positive about somebody that we've not positive about. But okay. I just can't believe I'm saying this.
Okay. All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Go home show before Full Gear pay-per-view this weekend. You open with an 8-man tag as Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Mark Davis took on the entire Don Callis family. Lots of wild brawling action here. Fletcher pulled Mark Davis in the way, and he ended up taking a hidden blade from Ospreay, and Takeshita finished Davis off with the running knee for the Don Callis family to pick up the victory. Moxley cut a promo promising that Wheeler Yuta was going to wreck Orange Cassidy in the main event tonight, and Darby Allin was targeted by Claudio, saying he was going to hurt Darby tonight. The Hurt Syndicate arrived to announce that Bobby Lashley will be in action tonight, but Swerve Strickland came out of nowhere and attacked Bobby with a chain and ran off. Orange Cassidy told the rest of the conglomeration on the back that he was going to handle things alone and not to come out to help him tonight. Adam Cole came on a promo to cut a promo, saying disappointed that he isn't going to face MJF at the pay-per-view, but he knows that Roderick Strong is going to take care of business. Kyle O'Reilly came out, talked to Cole, saying that he needs to drop this crusade against MJF before other people get hurt. Kyle thinks MJ is just manipulating the whole situation and tried to talk him out of it, but Cole doesn't seem to be persuaded. They have Chris Statlander versus Kairi Shida. Chris Statlander picked up the victory. Mercedes Moné Camille came out to talk trash. Mercedes told Camille to go in and tried to attack Statlander, but thanks to Kairi Shida's help, she was able to take care of Camille and then got into it with Mercedes and laid her out as well. Third Syndicate went looking for Swerve and found who they thought was Swerve, but it was just someone wearing his jacket as a decoy. Then we had Bobby Lashley taking on two local jobbers and enhancement talent. One of them, known as Cheeseburger, who was apparently pretty popular with the crowd, got a pop. But the two got squashed, and Keys tapped out to a hurt lock, and then just barely a 2-minute match. Swerve had Prince Nana distract Shelton Benjamin MVP, and he snuck in the ring and once again attacked Lashley with a chain, and then ran off before the rest of the Hurt Syndicate could get their hands on him. Mariah May and Marina Shirakawa talked about doing their celebration finally at Full Gear, and they were going to have a match on Rampage as a warm-up. Then we had Darby Allin taking on Claudio, but Claudio took him down and beat him for the victory, left him in a heap. MGF had a pre-taped promo talking about dissing Roderick Strong, promising he was going to wreck him at the pay-per-view. The Costco guys were talking about their match with QT Marshall on the pre-show. The Rizzler, blah, 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 whatever. Roderick Strong cut a promo promising he was going to take care of MJF at the pay-per-view. They recapped Daniel Garcia and Matt Menard turning tables on Jack Perry and taking him hostage as the build toward that match. The pay-per-view continued. The contract signed between Trish Jericho and Tomohiro Ishii led to a big brawl between the conglomeration and the Learning Tree, and the match was set for next week. Jamie Hayter was interviewed, wondering why Julia Hart doesn't understand why Julia Hart was interrupting her promo last week, and before she could finish, she was once again interrupted by another Julia Hart promo, saying that she's on her way back. They had the main event, Orange Cassidy taking on Wheeler Yuta. Orange Cassidy picked up the victory. As expected, Moxley and the rest of Death Riders came out. They duct taped Orange and proceeded to do a beatdown. The conglomeration came out to help Cassidy. After they left, Cassidy got up, put his glasses on, and stood tall, defiant to Moxley. Close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite.
Okay, so do you know when you watch a certain bit or sketch and you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and then it just keeps going and you kind of buy into it, and at the end you're like, was that genius that I just watched? Because at the end of the slowest chase scene known to man,
oh God,
that was the Jericho Ishii thing, I was cracking up laughing, and I don't even know if it was like good or bad, but I was smiling and giggling because I was like, you know what, this is never going to look at as being the dumbest thing or a genius thing.
It ended up being all right. It's like it's
when he because I was like, why are they not? Because I was like not getting, and then when Jericho like slowly moved the trash can and they both get the same pace, I just start laughing. Yeah. I'm like, what am I watching? Okay. So I was like, I can't believe I didn't want to fast forward through that. I enjoyed that little bit of just bullshit, but it was entertaining to me. I don't know. Maybe it tapped a nerve, but you know what I'm talking about, like those bits where you're like
the match. But I guess I'll begrudgingly give it to you. It's
yeah. I'm not looking for the match. I don't give a shit about the match. The fact that Jericho has the title is dumb or anything of that. But that slow chase, the slowest chasing in wrestling or any history, like this made Michael Myers chasing someone down or Jason chasing someone down make them look, fast as hell. But when I just popped so bad when he just slowly moved the trash can away, and he's got that just begrudging face, and Ishii never like changed his tone, never changed his pace or nothing, and they went all the way out to the ring, and I'm like, I don't know, I was giggling, I don't know what they were going for, but it got me in some point. Didn't help me want to watch the match, and didn't help the build to the match. But it was entertaining, and that's why we watch wrestling. Doesn't matter how the entertainment comes out. If it's entertaining to you, then it works. Mm-hmm. That's my. Mm-hmm. But you understand where I'm coming from. Like, not looking for the match, doesn't do anything, but it was funny. And hey, and wrestling has comedy. I mean, like we were talking about with the Miz doing my acting is so good.
Right?
Green. That I had that same thing with just because it was different. I'm sorry, it was different, and it kind of worked. But they took we have to take swings. You have to take swings in an episodic show. Typically, Jericho falls flatter than flat, and no one gives a shit. This one, I was like, okay, I will give you that. I did laugh and giggle through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, Justin's going to hate my take on this just because he's over Jericho.
I'm surprised, but it's fine.
Yeah. Statlander and Sheeta was great, but Jesus Christ, what was Monet doing?
This whole build to their match is a shit show. Like, she sends in Camille with one arm to fight the two of them. I'm like, what? It's ridiculous how it's like they've barely been together that long, and they're already teasing that they're heading towards Splitsville.
Yeah. But I mean, my voice cracked. So that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big Statlander.
I like Statlander and I like Mercedes, but the build to this match has just been an absolute hot mess.
Yeah, it's been a hot mess. You know what hasn't been a hot mess is the build to Ospreay and Fletcher.
No, that's
this has been cooking. This is big.
Things I liked about the show because I'm gonna be honest. Overall, this was a very weak go. This is a weak ass go.
This is the weakest go home show that AEW's done.
It's very weak. Like there was some good wrestling. Like the opening 8-man tag was awesome. Claudio Darby was good, and the main event match was good. But all the angles and other stuff going on, I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing is like MJF's promo was good, but I'm like, we don't care about him and Roddy.
Fletcher has been one of the few good builds for this paper, honestly.
Because it all makes it all like that actually has layers to it of like.
And just not too long ago, Tony made it official. They added one more match to the Full Gear card. Takeshita versus Ricochet for the international title.
Okay. Ricochet does say that he wants to he wants to be the guy to help carry AEW. I'm like, I hope your back's feeling good.
Yeah, because it needs a lot of caring right now because it's a mess.
But no, and that Lashley Swerve stuff.
That also I liked. I liked that. That's one of the other things I liked about the show.
Which I'm with you. As much as we're tapped into,
it shows that Swerve's a smart babyface. It's like he was doing hit and run tactics. I love that and playing mind games. I like that. That was good.
If you haven't noticed, Swerve since his heel to now has always been mind games. He's always done mind games with that. But no, I want to buy the Roddy MJF stuff, but I'm like, why are we cutting out the middleman? Just go straight to Adam Cole and MJF. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, this also has really, really bugged me, and I'm not happy about it. They're really messing up. It's like I love MJF and I love Adam Cole.
Right.
It's like, but it's like no one is excited. It's like, and I love Roddy Strong, but no one's going to be excited for this match. It's going to be probably a really good match, but it's not going to. I'll be shocked if it has serious heat for it because MJF has been off television, which is understandable. He's been doing some stuff in Hollywood lately. Mm-hmm. So all that stuff has been pre-recorded, but you delaying, just get MJF versus Cole out of the way. I'm like with Kyle O'Reilly, like this is over with, which is kind of ironic, even though that whole segment just felt completely flat. Like all the motivations in this whole thing are completely like bizarre world level, like upside down. Yeah. It's like it's a mess, and it really annoys me because of the people involved who I don't like. It's like they're just delaying Cole versus MJF until World's End next month.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's really annoying.
Someone's part. I was fine with it, even though people were just kind of the crowd wasn't that great. But
no, they weren't into. You could tell what they were into, what they were not into, and what stuff was like, like just felt flat on its face. Yeah. They love Adam Cole, but the entire exchange between him and Kyle O'Reilly, you could tell they didn't give a fuck.
No. Are you like, for a guy who's supposed to be challenging for the AEW championship and is supposed to be a threat to Jon Moxley, why are you having him like really go toe to toe with Wheeler Yuta? Are you just trying to say that Wheeler Yuta is on the level of everyone else?
Exactly. That's it. Like, it was a good match, but I'm like, it's like it would have made more if he wanted to hurt, like if he really wanted to try to hurt Orange Cassidy before the pay-per-view, that would have been Claudio or Pac, because they can hurt you.
Yes,
especially Claudio. Look what
look what he did to Darby.
Look what he did to Darby. He it's like he beat the shit out of Darby and pinned him clean.
Yeah, but I understand Tony, like, and we saw the same thing. Is like we always want to see those guys get pushed because you can see them, and he's kind of becoming he's Daniel Bryan.
They're trying their darndest to make you think that Orange has a chance in hell of taking the top from Moxley, which he doesn't.
But I did like him at the end where I know it fell flat to the audience, which kind of killed the segment, but I still loved the fact that they duct taped him with his pocket, with his hands in his pockets. I like that. I like at the end, he still had his hands in his pockets and then someone just put sunglasses on him. Like, I like that part of it, but the audience was not. They were just over it because they just knows like, what are we doing? We're spinning our tires.
It was. It's
From having that promo, that orange cut, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, to now, I'm like, ugh. And it sucks.
As much as I enjoyed the Julia Hart promos, I'm worried about. I think once again, it's your box. Tony is booking himself in the corner. Why are you having Julia Hart tangle with
Jamie Hayter
with a return match? Because neither one of those ladies should be taking an L right now.
No,
it's like Jamie Hayter should not be losing. Should be getting her ready to put her back in the top picture. It's like what are you waiting for? And it's like you're not going to have Julia Hart lose her return match after she's been on the shelf for most of this year.
No.
It's like those return vignettes, those have been fantastic, but I'm like, oh man, it's like, why are you could have put her against anybody else to help with Julia's return. Why are you doing it with Jamie Hayter, who doesn't need to be taking an L right now? She's like been in such filler feuds ever since she came back. First to Saraya, then with Belly Ford. Now they're throwing her in with Julia Hart. It's like I don't get it. I don't.
There's enough women on the show. You could have Julia Hart come out. I mean, Penelope Ford or something but not Jamie Hayter. It's the same thing with like Deonna Purrazzo. Hey, we've got her. By the way, you're going to job to Tony Storm. Congratulations. And you're going to go that. Now, I will say this. Shout out on Collision. That Anna J. Marame street fight, that was fun. That top turnbuckle onto the guardrail spot was pretty. I will say that. I don't know how you feel about the whole shaking of the boobs stuff that they're doing, but I do. You got it? You good?
No, I'm gonna need to go to the bathroom. So let's.
I will switch to NXT as you take care of that.
Yeah, I gotta run to the bathroom and take care of that. I got something in my hand.
Yep. All right, man.
There's not much left to say. It's like the other thing I will say, I kind of dug the stuff with Garcia and Jack Perry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. That back when they were just left Jack Perry.
I like that him and Garcia and Daddy Magic turned the tables on him and basically mess with him. I like that.
Yeah,
Garcia better win the title is all I'll say.
I like this Garcia run so far that since he's finally signed back and with the MJF stuff. So, all right, go to the bathroom, fix your stuff. I'll play the NXT stuff.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of NXT. We open with a men's Iron Survivor qualifying match. Nathan Frazier taking on Eddie Thorpe. All the various tag teams came out during this match. Led to a big brawl. During the chaos, Nathan Frazier was able to hit the Phoenix Splash on Eddie Thorpe to pin him and qualify for the match. A video aired from Julia talking about coming to NXT and the transition from Japan to America, that she's really enjoying it. She vows to get into the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge and win it and get her rematch with Roxanne. Klein Jordan was shown in the back seeing the match, and she told Robert Stone Steve Turner to go to Ava and saying that she wants to face Julia in the next Women's Iron Survivor qualifying match next week. Oh boy. Speaking of the women, we went to the next Women's Iron Survivor qualifying match. Jada Parker taking on Stephanie McCurry. Good stuff in ladies here. Eventually, Lil Bice came out wheeling a brick. This was enough of a distraction of a vice to distract Jada enough that Stephanie is able to take advantage. Super kick and her package backbreaker put Jada Parker down, and Stephanie McCurry won and is in the Iron Survivor Challenge match. Roxanne Perez is on vacation, but Sol Rucka popped up to tell her that she's going to win the Iron Survivor challenge match and come for the title. Then we had Tony D'Angelo taking on Brooks Jensen. Tony picked up the victory. After the match, Sean Spears pretended to want to shake hands out of respect, but that allowed Brooks Jensen to sneak attack from behind and chop block Tony D in the knee. Lexis King was talking to Yoshiki Inamura from Noah in the back. Briggs was asking him what that was all about, and he said that NXT is his kind of crazy, as he showed that the tag teams were once again brawling in the back. Then we had a mixed tag match, Ashante, Adonis, and Carmen Petrovic taking on Dion Lennox and Brindley Reese. Thanks to a distraction from Ashante, Carmen Petrovic was able to knock Brindley silly and pin her for the victory. Then we had the next women's Iron Survivor qualifying match as Ren Sinclair took on Zarya. Ren got put up a fight, but Zarya was just too much power and for her, and she eventually finished Ren off with the F5 for the victory, and joins Stephanie Vecker and Sol Rucka in the women's Iron Survivor match. Tony D was being checked on by the trainers in the back, so he was pissed off and wanted Sean Spears in the match next week. Ava agreed to it. Eddie Thorpe came and complained about how all the tag team chaos was a distraction and cost him lost the match. He wanted Ava to rectify it, and they got into an argument. Phelan Newfoots came out. Phelan Henley is ready to start doing open challenge next week. Metaphor first came out, and a bunch of other ladies came out wanting to get a shot at Phelan Henley in the Women's North American Championship. Led to a brawl. Tatum Paxley popped up from the ring and attacked Phelan from behind and laid her out, holding up the title. Sean Spears was pleased with Brooks Jensen's work and found out that he got his match with Tony D'Angelo for next week, which is exactly what he wanted. Probably with the title on the line. Carmen Petrovic and Ashante seemed to be bonding, but then Nikita Lyons came up implying that she was waiting to hear back from Adonis about a text. That pissed Petrovic off, with Ashante saying that he didn't send her a text at all, much to his displeasure. Ethan Page saying that he plans on getting into the Iron Survivor Challenge match and work his way back to the NXT Championship again. Nathan Reyes actually talking back and actually revealed that he decided to try to qualify next week, and he will be facing Ethan Page in the next qualifying match next week. Then we got to the main event, number one contenders match, Ridge Holland versus Andre Chase, with the extra stipulation that if Andre Chase lost, Chase U, as a note, would be disbanded. The rest of Chase U got involved. They tried to do everything they could to take Ridge Holland down, but he was able to overcome all of Chase U. And despite Andre Chase's efforts, he fell to Ridge Holland's finisher, and Ridge Holland pinned him to become number one contender. He'll face Trick for the NXT Championship at Deadline. And Andre Chase, the rest of Chase U were battered and despondent, realizing what had happened, and this sadly close out this week's episode of NXT. R.I.P. Chase U.
Yeah. Well, let's start out with the best thing that happened on this show. Obviously.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
NXT Women's Champion and currently the longest reigning champion in all of WWE. I decided it was time to take myself on a well-deserved and long overdue vacation. So I'm going to relax while everyone else tries to follow in my footsteps since, I was the first Iron Survivor. Good luck to all you ladies busting your ass, all for the privilege to lose to me.
Hey, Roxanne. It is so crazy seeing you here. I hope you're enjoying your vacation because at the Deadline, you'll be seeing me. See ya.
You gotta be kidding me.
I was going to ask you, is Solrock on your shit list for rooting the Prodigy's attempt at a little vacay?
If you go back to our catalog of videos, I was like, I'm nervous. And you're like, what? I was like, Sol Roca. And you're like, yeah. I was like, yeah. Stay away. Stay away. All of you can line up across the world and everyone will fall.
It's not just Sol Roca she got to worry about.
I'm aware she's got freaking. All right. Another thing I want to get to before I give my disappointment to that main event of how they booked that.
Yeah,
I didn't like the way they booked it. But
I'm with you there.
why was Jada the one to face Stephanie? It was a great match.
Yeah, see,
But
I also wanted to talk about this. Like, when I saw that this was the qualifying match, I was like, well, that sucks for Jada because there's no way they're not going to have Stephanie job to Jada. They're going to get Stephanie into the Iron Survivor match.
Mm-hmm.
But it sucks for Jada. Like, I felt bad for Ren Sinclair. I was like, oh God, she's got to face Zarya. Good luck.
That makes more sense, though.
I will say, even though they both lost, both Jada and Ren got to look good, even though they were going to lose. So right. I'll give Sean and them credit for that. But I was more bothered by Jada because I thought Jada might be one who could get into this match, at least for a heel. But we'll see. I mean, they might do like a last chance qualifier, all the losers. Who knows? It's like, but for now, she's not in it. And plus, obviously, the feud with Lil Vice is not over. So I was bummed for Jada that she had to wrestle Stephanie because it's like she's not going to be winning the match. But they had a really good match. Stephanie, man, Stephanie's so good.
She's so smooth, dude. And you have the smoothness of that. You have Julia.
She's over, man. Yeah, she's over too, man. It's like the crowd loves it every time she does the slamming their head into the mat with the wrapped in her legs spot. They love that. Now that's a very innovative spot.
Yeah,
I really love that.
Yeah,
and she was butts out some different stuff in this match too with Jada. So I was like, Jada Parker, Little Vice. That's not done yet. So Stephanie winning was the right move. It just felt bad for Jada.
Just felt bad. Like, why is it Jada of all? Like, you could have, but
they could have put some other people in there that could have easily lost to Stephanie. Like Ren was not as bad, but I was like, it's like, but at least Ren got to have some offense. She got to put up a little bit of a fight before Zarya finished her off.
But Ren's not on the level of Jada for how they looked her.
Yeah, Ren's not there yet. Where like Jada is definitely like she's shown like incredible progress here. Like her match against Roxanne at the PLE, that title match, she really got to shine. So she's really advanced well. She's on there's tiers. Like right now, tier 1, Roxanne, Stephanie, Julia, probably Zarya, maybe Sol Rucka, but Sol Rucka is definitely like on tier 2, along with like Jada, Cora Jade, Lola Vice. It's like she's just on the cusp of like feeling like she's a real main event level kind of talent in NXT. She's almost there. She's getting there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Still a great match. Finish was the right one. Same with Zarya.
Yeah. Zarya, I like the fact that of these three, the newcomers with Julia, Stephanie, and Zarya, is that they're all three great, but they all three have their own styles and they all three work.
Yeah, they each have a different style. It's like, and that's that's great because it helps differentiate between them. It's like Zarya's got she's like Braun Breaker. She's gonna overpower you and wreck you. Right. Stephanie is like finesse, and Julia's kind of like a combination of like she's got like the moves, but she can hit you really hard. It's like, look out for that knee strike. It's like,
it's basically, to me, it's like So Stephanie is kind of like a Sasha Banks. Like she's kind of like the Sasha Banks of like smooth as hell.
Yeah.
Julia is, I think, more Bailey than Charlotte, but Charlotte is that finesse, but she can also pop.
I think that's not a bad comparison.
And Zarya's is kind of, I mean, Rhea.
Yeah. She's more like in the powerhouse vein, like Rhea or Raquel, where like she can just like toss you around like a rag doll.
Yeah. Julia's more in like the Charlotte of like she's got some power behind her, but she's also got
She can go on the mat with you.
Yeah.
That also reminds me of like, oh man, like as soon as like I was like, okay, Kalani's obviously going to try to get into the bit, and then she's like, I want to face Julia. I was like, no, what? It's like, well, it's like, sorry, R.I.P.
Yep.
Kalani.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, Kalani, why are you trying to sign your own death warrant?
I know.
It's like, because Julia's getting that match, man.
Yeah.
Because my God, this women's Iron Survivor match is already freaking. This match is already stacked. We got Ruckus, Stephanie, and Zarya. We're gonna get Julie after next week, and then who knows who's gonna get that last spot? But dear God, this women's Iron Survivor match is gonna be insane.
Frazier, and is this how we're finally split up Fraxium because Frazier's doing the Iron Challenge?
I wouldn't. Well, it's going to be interesting because Axiom has to face Ethan Page.
Right. Tony, Ethan Page is getting in.
Or they could surprise and have Axiom get in, and then
maybe.
Unless they solve like a number one contender for that, but they wouldn't be able to deal with that until after deadline because Frazier's in the Iron Survivor match, so they're not defending the tag titles at this PLE because Frazier's in the Iron Survivor match.
Yeah.
So you're gonna leave Axiom off. So it's like I'm leaning toward Ethan win, but I will not be shocked if Axiom beats him and qualifies for the match too. And that's going to add more problems for the two of them because then they're going to have to face off during the Iron Survivor match.
Right. I don't know.
But the talent in the men's side, that it's like it's shaping up really nice because we got Wes, we got Javon, and now we got Nathan Frazier. It's like the bench is looking pretty good right now as well.
And that's why I kind of want Ethan because you literally have just 4 high flyers. You need that Ethan Page.
I that's why, like I said, I'm leaning toward Ethan, but it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they do a twist. It's like we'll see.
Yeah. Speaking about twists, so Sean Spears now is going to go for the title.
He might.
I didn't like that.
he might take it.
Yeah.
It's like the whole plan was like weaken Tony with this Brooks Jensen match. It's like it's part of a long game that Spears is
I like it. I just didn't like it how they sacrificed Brooks because I was kind of wanting Brooks.
I felt bad for Eddie Thurr because I thought that he might get in. I'm not upset that Nathan won, but it makes you see what they're going to do because his stuff with Ava. Hopefully it's leading somewhere. That was one of the best matches he's looked against Frazier. So it's like hopefully they're doing something with him because he's definitely got some talent.
Well, I'm just glad we're past the Lexus King Eddie Thorpe feud because that was a dead in the water bull crap.
I hope they get the Noah guy in the ring soon because it's like he's only been in the backstage stuff so far. It's like get that man in the ring, man.
Right? Exactly. Okay. Anything else?
I also want to say, I love the Julia vignette where that was, talking about acclimating to America. After NXT, she was on a special. It's like because Bus Over Radio is doing this like After Dark podcast as well, and after NXT was over,
hold on, we have breaking news right here on the program. Look who just signed a WWE ID. Kylie Ray.
Way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. As of 10:35, like literally like minutes.
All right, I'm going to the ID.
Yeah, just double check that, making sure my source is correct.
It's Russell Ops, but I don't think they would put that out if it was wrong.
No, just double check that. Double check your sources here. This is live. So if we're going to break news, we got to break news. But Kylie Ray.
I don't see it on the ID Twitter, but they might be jumping the gun.
They might be because WrestleOps sometimes they always cite their sources, and they didn't cite a source here. So I don't know.
It says that she's receiving her. Oh wait, no, they got it. They just put that there's a picture.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there literally is. Yeah, here we go. That's literally her with their WWE ID. Okay.
Wow, that's big.
She's went through a lot of shit.
She's one of those, like, she's really talented, but she's had a lot of personal demons that have caused her to step away from wrestling more than once over the last few years. Because like she was in AEW for a while, but then she was like let go, and then she said that she had to step away for a while to deal with some personal problems, and she's slowly been working her way back into wrestling in the indies and stuff. Yeah. And she was on the Maple Leaf Pro for Scott D'Amore. This is a big one. This is the biggest one. Like it's like like all the other ones are like, they're young indie talent. It's like people know who Kylie Ray is.
Yes. I've known Kylie Ray for a while. Then they signed her to AEW, and obviously she had that, and then it just didn't work out because you said personal demons and other shit that was going on in the back. And then no one wanted to pick her up because of all of her, stuff outside, like on her personal demons. So to see her get back and then WWE signing her to at least the ID part is showing that she's getting back. She's working her ass back to becoming a WWE superstar, or at least back in the prominent where she belongs.
Fightful retweeted, so yeah, it's legit. Okay. So,
all right,
well, that's huge.
All right, yep, that's huge.
Congrats to Kylie. She's a really great talent. So that's
huge. Because I mean, the other people were just getting used to. Shout out to the coffee dude.
I have no doubt that she's going to make it to NXT.
Yeah,
it's like she's good. Yeah. She's very good.
So speaking about the Julia thing, I don't have her vignette here, but I do have this really cool moment between her and Bully.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is what I want you to say. You ready? Mm-hmm. Bubba, get the table.
Oh.
Bubba,
get the table.
One more time.
Okay. Bubba, get the table.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because if you've seen some of Julia's work over in Japan, she likes putting people through tables. So
yes, yeah,
it's like I've seen a couple clips where she's like pile drive women through tables. So it's like when she did that, because I listened to the interview, it wasn't that long. It was like 18 minutes. Like Bubba did like a recap of what happened on NXT that night, and then he talked to Julia. He also gave a shout out to Funaki because Funaki was there just in case she needed some help. But man, I was like, her English has come along pretty well. Like it's a little broken here at times, but she's able to speak pretty clearly for the most part. And but it was fun. She was talking about it just comes off. I just love her. She just comes off as so cool. And she said that, like, because he asked her, he's like, well, how's the transition coming from Japan here to America and from Japanese to American and all that stuff? And she said that it's been difficult, but she is enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And she talked about like the differences between like how the Japanese fans are a little more low key, very more respectable, where American wrestling fans are much more animated, and she says she likes that, and learning the TV stuff, because it's like they don't have like regular like TV or like weekly programming wrestling over in Japan. So, but it sounds like she's having a great time. And they showed some more photos of her. Like it helps that she's making friends. Like her and Stephanie are already pretty close, and seems like she's made made friendships with some of the other women on the roster. I've seen her like photobomb with both Lola Vice and Jada Parker, saying that these I made some new friends. So it's like she comes off so likable.
Yeah.
So that's why and also she finally got her first merch. Her first T-shirt was released yesterday into the WWE shop, and I bought it.
Yep. She was wearing it in that video.
Yep, she was wearing that video, and also Stephanie was also wearing one. Her and Julia took a picture there that they both retweeted, both wearing Julia's first official T-shirt. So happy for her. So that was a nice little vignette, making it clear that it's like, yeah, she's gonna get, because she's got unfinished business with Roxanne. It's like Cora Jade screwed her out of her title match against Roxanne, so she's looking to get that rematch. But my God, dude, this Women's Iron Survivor is gonna be nuts because there's so many in there that you could see winning. That's what makes it more exciting, because Soruka's come along amazingly. She's so talented. It's got one of the best finishers in the business. Stephanie's amazing. Zarya looks amazing. You throw Julie in there and whoever else is going to make it, that match is going to be insane, because it's like especially between the new trifecta of Julia, Stephanie, and Zarya all in this Iron Survivor match. I don't know what's going to. This could go so many different ways. It's going to be. I'm really excited for this Women's Iron Survivor match. It's like this thing could be like a real banger with who they're stacking up to be in this match.
Oh, here we go. Here's the video.
Oh, sweet.
Right here. It's you! It's a lot of eyes. A lot of eyes. Right here. I know. You deserve it! You deserve it! You deserve it! You deserve it!
Oh, she's like emotional, man.
You deserve it!
Well, I mean, it's all on.
You deserve it!
He's had to overcome a lot of personal demons.
You deserve it!
This is awesome.
Yeah. That's why we love wrestling, folks, for stuff like that. That's why we love wrestling. But yeah, I was looking for when we were talking about talking about NXT women.
Mm-hmm.
That one we've been thinking would be in NXT a long time ago. And, on that. And speaking about the other NXT women, Tatum Paxley, of all people, going after Fallon.
I like that. I like it. That's gonna be a fun match. It's like I'm glad they're giving Tatum more opportunities to shine. Good opponent for Fallon. I really like what they're doing, Fallon. I really liked her work on the mic during this promo.
Yeah,
it's like I'm really happy for her, because I felt like she's one of those ones that's like right on the cusp of hitting that next level where Roxanne and some of the other ladies already are, and it's like she's getting to shine with this title run right off the bat.
Yeah. No. Like I said, Fallon's really impressed me, and
NXT Women's Division is embarrassment of riches right now.
All right, so speaking of embarrassment, let's get to the.
Let's get to the downside of the show.
We knew this was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
there
was no way that Andre Chase was going to win this match.
But the fact that Ridge just destroyed the whole faction,
that
is dumb. I understand. I get why they kind of did that. Be like, if you're going to kill Chase you, you're going to kill Chase you. But one dude doing it, and it's Ridge Highland, who I've not been a big because they're trying to make him a threat to Trick. He could have been a threat to Trick without destroying a whole faction that you've been building for 3 years.
Trick needs to worry about Oba Femi.
Yeah, and just I would have booked it of one of them turning on Chase to kill Chase U and align themselves with Ridge, like a Thea or Hudson or somebody. Right. And no, he just Ridge just took out everybody.
Yeah, it's like they all tried to help, and it's like it just didn't work.
Yeah, and I just didn't like that booking decision. It's like oh, the death of Chase U. Yeah, no, you literally killed him, and it's Ridge Holland of all people. Which it is what it is, but it's just the fact that like the heel didn't win from being outsmarted. No, he literally just came in and just destroyed a whole faction that's been around for 3 years and been a prominent figure in NXT. And it's still, and that's just how you end it. Like I just don't like.
Yeah, it was a very depressing ending because they even painted over to Trick, and Trick is like, it's like, damn, dude. It's like even Trick was like, "Fuck, man."
Yeah, and you're like Hudson's in the wall. The one guy looks like I forget the other.
Thea's down hurt. It's like they're all laid out.
Yeah,
and Andre Chase is like trying not to cry.
Yeah,
it's like damn, man.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's the motion they want him to go, but I just Rich Holland is the one that kills Chase U and like literally kills Chase U.
Yeah, it's like.
That's the thing is like, it'd be one thing if it was Oba or like someone that I can see doing it. Ridge, I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me why Ridge is the right choice to destroy something that's been a prominent figure in NXT program. It'd be one thing if they're like a jobber stable, but they're not a jobber stable.
I'll be glad once he dispatches Ridge Holland at deadline and moves on to the next challenger, because unless Oba Femi gets into this Iron Survivor match, my pick is Wesley.
Yeah, oh for sure, Wes or Oba. I see them more.
If Oba gets in, I'll lean toward Oba.
Oh yeah, but we've been talking about it. Wes and Oba are the two.
Wes and Oba are the top two challengers to the top two picks to take the title off of Trick.
Yeah.
And it's like I'd like to see either one of them win the title. So
yeah, I don't know. It's just the fact that you're sacrificing that stable to try and boost a guy who's hard at best. And it's not. And again, nothing against Ridge, and I'm pretty sure he's a hard worker and an amazing person and all that. But I have to call a spade, and you just don't see main event material. And the fact that they're trying to, but you're doing it on the sacrifice of that stable. And like, I don't know. I just, maybe it did the right thing where you're typically not used to the bad guys winning that bad, but it is what it is. Like it should have been over after the ambulance match. We talked about, but it wasn't. No, you literally have Ridge Holland, one dude beat that stable that's been around forever. And it's just, I don't know. I didn't care for it. Just give me Oba and West versus Trick and call it a day because I'm not buying this Ridge stuff.
Yeah.
On that. All right, man. Well, we're at the 2-hour mark. That was so cool. We were able to break some news and just with Kylie Ray, that's so awesome. So happy for her.
You want to run down the full gear card real quick?
Run down the card real quick.
Okay. So, right now, the pre-show, the 0 hour has Costco guy, Boom Boom AJ, taking on QT Marshall with the Rizzler as special guest timekeeper.
He actually is like, that dude's was actually.
Yeah, apparently I was like, he actually has a wrestling background.
Yeah, he actually has a wrestling background.
So the match may not completely suck. I assume QT's going to take the L.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then we got so the main card is now 9 matches. We've got MJF versus Roderick Strong. MJF. Because then we'll get Adam. Adam Cole will get his crack at him next. Jay White versus Hangman. This is a tough one because I love both guys and I'd hate to see either one taking an L. I kind of lean toward Hangman.
I'm leaning towards Jay because I think Jay needs it more than Hangman does.
Probably. It's like
they probably will end up having Hangman, but I just want Jay just because Jay's in that weird purgatory where he should be a main event guy, but he's not a main event guy.
He should. Or at least maybe get into like the international continental title scene.
Yeah.
4-way for the tag team titles. Private Party defending against the Outrunners, House of Black, and the Acclaimed.
No, they're going to retain.
Yeah, Private Party is not losing this. Although a lot of people are going to be rooting for the Outrunners, that's for sure.
Oh, Outrunners are one of the most over tag teams in all of wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, the Outrunners are cool.
They ooze charisma. I got to give it to them. That old school gimmick.
They should eventually win the tag titles.
Oh yeah,
but not yet. Private Party just won them. Let them have the titles for a little bit.
Yeah, the roid rage of the '80s. Outrunners.
Okay. TBS title match: Mercedes Moné with Camille in her corner against Statlander.
I hope Statlander wins, but she won't.
No, she won't. They're not having her drop the title just yet.
No.
So I'm expecting Mercedes to retain. Swerve versus Bobby Lashley.
This is a tough one. I think Bobby will probably take it somehow.
I think Bobby needs to in order to keep the feud.
This is a first of a.
This is his debut anyway. It's like this is like his big pay-per-view debut.
Yeah.
It makes sense for Bobby to win.
Yeah.
TNT title match: Jack Perry defending against Daniel Garcia.
The Bucks are like this is probably going to write
the elite isn't even properly active right now because the Young Bucks GTFO'd for a while. So take the title off Perry, give it to Garcia, and let's see what they can do with him.
Yep.
Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher grudge match. This match is probably going to be a banger.
I don't care who wins. You know who wins? The wrestling fans.
Yeah, the wrestling fans. This could go either way, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe Fletcher because
I can see Fletcher
because Ospreay can afford to lose to him.
You think it's how long is Sky Blue still on the shelf?
Sounds like it's going to be another few months before she's back.
Okay, because I would say if she could come back and help Fletcher win.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Let's see. Then we got just announced tonight international championship match. Takeshita defending against Ricochet. That's going to be another banger. Takeshi's going to win that. He just won the title. Dropping that.
Yeah, that's going
to be a hell of a match. That's going to be a banger. Another banger.
Oh god, something goes so good.
And then the main event, AEW title, Jon Moxley defending against Orange Cassidy. Moxley's going to win.
Can Big Tomo beat Jericho and then Jericho just go off in the sunset?
Thankfully, that's not on the pay-per-view. That's
I know, but I just want to just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Jericho, you're on my Mount Rushmore. You're always going to be on the Mount Rushmore. You have too much longevity, but damn it, dude.
Yeah.
Stop. All right. Well, man, I think we did it.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show. It's like I'm sure it'll be an overall good show. It's just I'm not like super hyped for it.
Yeah.
It's because the build for some of these matches have been completely blocked.
Yeah. I mean, so has the women's War Games, and that's their two big marquee matches. It's just like it's gonna be fun. It's the same thing. It's like, well, it's gonna be a fun match. The build to it was terrible, but it's gonna be good. But yeah, man. Thank you all so much, and thank you for PW 101 giving us a subscription there. Hit that doorbell. Like I said, we go live every Thursday. We will keep you all informed with the holiday week. Next week, we're going to try and still do it. It just depends on how the holidays work, because we'll be going live Thanksgiving night.
Yeah,
but we're still trying to make it work. We will keep you all posted on that. If anything, we will catch you all 2 weeks or at least a week from next Thursday. Or in 2 weeks.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks after the holiday. And we're gonna have a lot to talk about because that's gonna be a loaded show because we're gonna have to talk about Full Gear, Survivor Series, War Games. So we're gonna have we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. Probably, guys, just so you know, we're probably not going to bring up SmackDown because there's too many pay-per-views to go over.
Yes, we're not. Yeah, because between the two pay-per-views, we're probably gonna just focus on like the Raw and SmackDown that happens. We'll see, because like we're gonna miss like 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns, so it's like we're gonna have
we're gonna recap within the timeline. So yeah, there's not going to be a multiverse of when
We
this
only
happened.
need to focus on the ones next week because they're more just built toward the pay-per-view, and
Right.
probably we're going to focus more on definitely the Raw after Survivor Series, because it's like that's going to have a clear thing of where things are heading toward both Saturday night's main event and then eventually the Rumble.
Yeah, and then
And then Raw
AEW
to do
Dynamite
next.
fallout from.
Yeah.
We'll have some more fallout from that. And then obviously NXT.
Everyone enjoy Thanksgiving holiday.
Yep.
And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks. If anything else, the other stuff we got going on tomorrow night, Sol and I are going to be going over the National Women's Soccer League of our bracket bitches and going over what's going on. Justin's New York team, as far as the men's side is concerned, his bracket's still alive as far as the men's soccer league is going because his New York team. Yeah, his New York team is still kicking. Although it's going to be a derby. You got the Red Bulls versus the other. Versus New York other team. So going to be seeing a crazy. It's like the Jets and Giants all over again. But anyway, tune in for that tomorrow as we break that down. And then we will at least do we're going to do at least a fantasy F around on Monday to go over. Me and Tushka will go over everything that is fantasy football, and then we'll probably see you all in 2 weeks to go over all the other happenings of Rev Sports and Ruckus Wrestling, and get back to your programming until the fat man comes down the chimney. And hope you kids were good this year and get you all the presents when it comes to Christmas time or any other holidays. But Justin, it's always a pleasure, sir. And if anything, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Peace. Gotta do the thing. Yay.